So now let's start with the different kinds of losses that can happen in our pumping system. So earlier we have seen the performance characteristic curve H versus Q. So now this one represents the H theoretical, two represents the H after we subtract slip factor, three represents the curve after we have subtracted the shock loss, four is after we have shock, four represents the frictional loss, and this is the actual curve. So the slip is quantitatively defined by this. Slip is um, so head with slip will be some sigma factor, that is the slip factor times the H theoretical, and H theoretical is again a factor of Q, and the slip factor is also a factor of Q because slip factor is a ratio of velocities, and velocities also depend on Q again. So H with slip, that is head after we subtract the slip factor, is also function of Q, and this is how it is in the nature. It is like a quadratic decreasing function. Now an important thing about slip is it is independent of viscosity. It happens in ideal fluid also. So even if the viscosity is zero, that is we have ideal fluid, still we'll have a loss. And distance between theoretical and slip increase with increase in the flow rate. So that's what we have seen. This distance from H theoretical and slip line, they are increasing as the flow rate is increasing. And you should remember how the slip is happening. I have explained earlier, slip occurs because of circulation of flow around the blade, and that circulation was happening because of pressure difference or pressure gradient in the front and that is the leading phase and the lagging phase of a blade. So there is a pressure gradient, a positive and negative pressure buildup on the face of the blade. Third line was showing the hydraulic losses. So this third line, that is the shock loss, are the hydraulic loss, and they happen due to viscosity of fluid, that is the frictional loss. And there are two kinds of frictional losses. First is the shock loss or incidence loss. That's what the third represents over there. So this shock loss happens because we have uh, an a non-uniform entry, or the fluid is not directly gliding over the blade. So if we have blade something like this, and the fluid should directly enter like this and glide smoothly over it, but if it not entering like this and it is parting some impulse on it, that is a shock experienced by the blade. So that is the shock loss or the incidence loss. And last is the frictional loss, that is the frictional uh, friction in our system. So there is one thing defined as design condition. Design condition means the fluid enters smoothly or glides smoothly on the impeller blades, and at design condition we'll have the best head with respect to flow rate. So VR1 makes an angle is equal to blade angle beta. That happens at the design point. The blade angle beta is by default what is manufactured, and at angles at which the relative velocity makes an angle with the u, that is the mean speed, is some other angle. At design condition these two angles are equal, that is our design condition. So this happens only at design condition, or design condition means a designed flow rate. So H loss of due to shock is equal to 0 at design flow rate because we have a smooth entry of fluid. Otherwise, H shock is equal to some constant time Q design minus Q actual whole square. So that means it is a quadratic function, and at Q design, when the Q actual and Q design are same, we will have shock loss is equal to 0, or that is the minimum. And frictional loss, so HF, we have known the expression for HF is equal to FL V square by 2dg. So F is the Darcy's friction coefficient. So F we have known as a square of is proportional to square of velocity. D, G, and L and F are fixed after we make a pump. So whatever material we have used or whatever dimensions we have, they are all constant after we have made the pump. So hence F and V is directly proportional to Q, because Q is equal to VF into area. So we can write HF, that is head loss due to friction, is equal to some constant time Q square. So with friction, it is going to increase monotonously or strictly increasing. So as I have explained earlier, H theoretically is K1 minus K2 for backward facing blades. So remember, K2 had a factor cot beta 2, and that beta 2 is changing as we change the blade angle. So forward facing blade will have beta 2 is greater than 90 degree. That means the equation will change from K1 plus K2 into Q. That means when we increase the discharge, the head is going to increase. For radial blades, beta is equal to 90 degree. K1 minus 0, that means the head is constant with respect to flow rate. Flow rate does not have any change on the head or head, theoretical head. The backward facing blades will have beta to less than 90 degree. And that's what we have seen earlier. We will have an expression K1 minus K2 theta flow rate. So as we increase the flow rate, we are going to decrease the theoretical head which we are getting. So now coming to the one of the most important thing related to characteristics. So we can first make a graph between H theoretical and Q, and we have seen the three expressions earlier just now for three different blades and three different expressions we have. So we can just directly plot them as a straight line since K1 and K2 are constant. So that is the one of the performance characteristic. Another important performance characteristic comes over here, that is power or actual head with respect to flow rate. And now we are going to compare for three different type of blade. So first come to H theoretical or actual head, sorry, theoretical not actual head. So we have three different curves. First, the black ones. Look at black ones that are for forward blade, radial and backward blade. This is backward blade. So we can see that the actual head increases for radial and forward blade for till some flow rate, and then it decreases. And for backward, it directly starts decreasing from the theoretical head, or maybe the maximum head which we can have in backward facing blades. Now coming to the power characteristics. So this is very important, and I have said earlier we'll see a self-limiting characteristic of the backward blade. So I'll explain about it right now. So we have power versus discharge, and the blue ink line shows the power. So this ink, the quadratic function over here, it shows it decreases for some time and then it increases. So the power requirement is going to increase monotonously after some point of flow rate. That is, for forward facing blades of power, it is ever increasing after some time. For radial, it is linearly increasing, but the power keeps on increasing as we increase the flow rate. Now come to the backward facing blades. So this is for backward. This is the most important thing. We can see that it is increasing for some time and then it is monotonously decreasing also again. So there is a maxima for this curve of power in a backward facing curve, backward facing blade. So that means that at some design point we'll have maximum power requirement, and as per that we can design our pump. And any condition other than the design point, if we are working at some any other point, the power requirement will be less. So we are not going to harm our system. So that is a dome shape, and this is self-limiting characteristic. Even if we change the flow rate, we are not going to have a very large change in the power requirement. Over here, if we go from here to here, if the flow rate changes, the power requirement changes a lot, and we can trip the system, we can burn our system, and such things can happen. System means the pump. But over here, we have self-limiting characteristic because of the blade's nature. And because of that, the power requirement is not going to change much and will not harm the system. Okay, we'll stop over here.